Let's look at your straps right quick.
Well, chains today.
Cause oh, you got on chains today?
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, yeah, that's what you're talking about with the spread axle being further apart, right?
Now, a lot of them have suspension dump for either the front or the back axle. So if you're going around a sharp corner, because what happens with the spreads, when you're going around a sharp corner, like with those, you can turn them around in a 360 degree, but with those, what you're doing is you're dragging that front axle, that front tire, both front tires, you're dragging them around the corner.
Oh,
which
yeah.
makes it harder to turn. And when you go to back those up, those won't back as easy as those will. Because those, you can cut them quicker. Those take longer to get around, and then they take longer to straighten back up, too. So it's an art for backing a spread up compared to... Well, there's an art to that, too. I'd probably get in the truck with a box, and I'd probably spin that sumbitch in a circle to turn quicker than I'm used to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, that's something that that intrigues me. To me, it's an art, like you said, to me, it's an art in driving altogether.
Right.
And, you know, especially back and more so. But in my opinion, a person that views it as art has the ability to perfect it better than a person that don't even look at it as art. You know what I mean?
It's an art, like you say.
Yeah, it is art.
If you're an artist and you're painting, you're always striving for better, cleaner lines.
Exactly.
If you're a musician, you're looking for better.
Exactly.
You know, same way with driving a truck. You know, you're always looking to do that, make your job easier, make your job safer. You know, standard is you got to have one chain for every 10,000 pounds worth of weight you got on the truck. Depending on, like this one, these are only 9,000 pounds. But I've got a chain over each side pulling out, and then I've got one over the tongue down there too, because they're so, and then they nailed down the planks and locked in the wheels so it can't move. You know, different stuff. That's the thing about flatbedding is you never run into the same thing. Yeah. Hardly ever. I mean, you'll run a coil and then you'll pick up drywall or you'll pick up generators. You're always doing something different. That's another thing I like about it, because with vans, you back up, they stick it in your trailer, you shut it, you go. These things is always something different. I mean, you know, whatever the freight is, whether it's coils or lumber or generators or hell, I've taken Humvees and military vehicles before on my flatbed. So,
and like when you're talking about with the board right there and everything, is that something that is that ever the driver's responsibility, or they do all the securing other than the chain?
Well, this is something that where I loaded, they do it to help, you know, lock it in to make sure it doesn't roll, and then it's my job to come behind. The final responsibility of a flatbed operator, the chaining and securement, always falls back on him. You can't ever trust anybody else to do anything. You want to be hands-on, that way you know it's done right. Yeah. You know, I do a lot of dropping hooks, and I don't ever I've seen guys, you know, drop, hook to it and go. No, I will never do that, because you never know what if the guy before gave a crap.
Right. Well, yeah.
He doesn't care. He's going to drop that. If it falls off, it's on you. It's on you.
Yeah.
Guy up in Pennsylvania was hauling a 43,000 pound coil. He had 3 chains on it, which is only good for 30,000 pounds. And this bunch of 16-year-olds ran a stop sign. That was their fault. He hit them, flipped the car over, but then when he hit them and the truck stopped, the chains broke, and that 42,000 pound coil rolled off and killed a state trooper's daughter, and that man's doing 5 years in prison right now.
The truck dropped.
The truck, because he killed the girl.
Yeah.
If he'd have secured it right, 43,000. They always say one for every 10,000, and then one more for the family. So if you've got a 40,000 pound coil, it ought to have at least 5 chains. Right. You know, if you've got 30,000, it ought to have at least 4. You know, depending on what it is, you may end up like this one. You may end up over securing, because that's the only way to get it tight and get it held there.
Oh, you're talking about as far as the number of chains and everything you use?
Technically, I've got 30,000 pounds worth of securement on each one of these units, and they're only 9,000 pounds a piece. Right. So you're saying you're using more chains than is legally required, but that's what it took in order to properly secure the load. Well, I always, you know, I have old timers in like U.S. Steel and something. Why are you putting all them chains on? Well, because I want to get home and I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to kill me, and I don't want to kill some family rolling down the road. Yeah. You know, if this truck flips, I want to know the stuff stays on the trailer. You know, if it lays over, I want to make sure that the stuff stays there. If I got to hit my brakes, I want to make sure it stays there.
I got you.
You know, I don't want to take a chance of hurting me or somebody else.
Right. I got you. Great way of thinking. That's what it takes to stay ahead, because it's better to be proactive and, like you say, overdo it than to not do it well enough, and then something happens and you're sitting there saying, I wish I woulda, or I shoulda, or I coulda.
A lot of times, you know, I'm hauling single coils that weigh up to 48,000 pounds, And you figure headache racks or not, if a 48,000 pound coil starts coming forward, those things ain't going to stop. You know, it'll go right through a cab and kill you. And I mean, it's for me as well as for the people out on the road. I mean, you don't want to hurt or kill somebody's mom or dad or kid or, you know, that ain't no good.
And those racks, do all flatbeds have those on it?
The chain racks?
Yeah.
Well,
so that's not the. Oh yeah, the headache rack was what I was talking about.
Oh, these. Not all of your flatbeds have them, but federal law says that if you don't have one on the trailer, you got to have one on the tractor.
Okay.
Or you're supposed to. You'll see a lot of TMC, Maverick. There's a lot of companies out there that they don't have the bulkheads on their trailers, but if you look, they've got them on the tractors.
Oh, okay. So this is like an extra precaution that the company takes?
Well, no, all of ours have that.
Yeah.
When I went to drywall, I got that because we keep 12 chains, 12 binders.
Oh.
And if you're dropping and hooking a lot, it's a pain to have to switch them from trailer to trailer. And so I had to pull some strings to get mine put on the back. That way I can hang my chains back there.